What's up, my dudes? Got us another track review. Wow, it's been about 75,000 years since I've done one of these, but we're hucking it big, dude. No tucks given at all, bro. Jason Anderson style on this motherfucker. Getting her going, dude, for sure. But I'm going to be reviewing the I guess they call it the El Chupacabra compound. It's basically the Blake Baggett compound. And yeah, I know this track came out like, I don't know, a couple months ago. I was going to get to this track review a little bit quicker than this, but I know I'm sort of a day late and a dollar short here, but I still wanted to come in here and kind of give my opinion on it and just kind of, I don't know, do another track review. I know there's kind of been a bit of a slowdown, I guess you could say, on some of the MX Simulator user-created track content that's been coming out. It's just, you're getting a lot more of those kind of like somebody, it looks like somebody's first or second track, right? You're getting way more of those than you are like super solid, unique design style tracks here recently. I mean, that's just what I've noticed recently. It just seems a lot more of your kind of pure MXS style looking tracks that have been coming out. So we'll see, how much more that can improve and try to get some more unique designs going in some of the custom tracks, and the track reviews will pick back up and all that. But I just wanted to kind of step away from the track reviews for a little while just to simply prove that I could. A lot of people kind of had that thought in their head, like, the only reason my channel was afloat is because I did track reviews, and that's not even my track, that's not even my content. That's just me basically using somebody else's content to do my videos, and I didn't make a track review for like, you guys have seen it now. I mean, it's been like 3, 4, 5 months, and I'm still floating and going, dude. I mean, it's not like I have to do track reviews. It's a fun little thing to do. I mean, honestly, like, I would say track reviews, especially on MX Simulator, it's really not that big of a booming thing. It's really not popping off like you would think. It's just not. I mean, I definitely think even to this day, Reflex custom tracks on PC, like track reviews of that, is bigger than MX Simulator track reviews, just because, like I said, seems like you get a lot more of those beginner-esque looking, and I don't mean beginner as far as difficulty, I mean beginner as far as how the off-track looks and the decals and the everything can have more of that simplistic look to it on MX Simulator when you don't get somebody in there that really knows what they're doing with the track making, that haven't had a lot of experience with it. They don't have a lot of experience with objects and statues and making sort of their own biome. Everything kind of starts to look somewhat of the same, and so that's kind of been a bit of the syndrome problem that's been going on here with MX Simulator here recently. But this is one of those tracks that's like, whoa, okay, now we're kind of getting something a little bit different here. And of course, it's not every track, right? I don't mean every recent track has been like that. I'm just saying there's definitely been a bit of an increase of them, and that's the way with anything that I ever say. It's not to say that every single whatever I'm saying is this certain way. It's just, a lot of times I speak on the majority of something being that way or whatever, and some people take it like that I'm literally saying like every single, person is like this or every single whatever is like that, and it's never like that. In 99.9% of the cases, it's never that I'm actually meaning 100% of the people are that way. It's just you're always going to have your exceptions to the rules and stuff like that, but let's get into this actual track review here. So this is the Blake Baggett compound. I don't really know too much about what the Blake Baggett compound looks like in real life. Obviously, some of this off-track stuff is a little bit, I mean, you can just see off there in the distance. I mean, it's basically just like a grass overlaid decal, and that's it. I mean, you got some trees and stuff in some of these sections here, but it reminds me a lot of how some of the kind of like the 2013-14 Nationals looked in this game. That's kind of what it looks like. I mean, it's hard to like sit here and try to compare and say, okay, well, this looks exactly like the Blake Baggett compound, or this doesn't look like it. I mean, the track definitely seems a little bit lacking on like just sheer off-track objects and just stuff off the track. It looks a little bit lacking in that sense, but I mean, I'm sure the layout is probably damn near identical. I don't know if there's actually a helmet cam of this out on YouTube or whatever, to where you can actually see exactly the lines and stuff and the jump distances and trying to get all that perfect. There's no way for me to really, tell how close he's getting all that kind of stuff. But as far as how the on-track is, I mean, it's just a fun track to ride on, and I think that's kind of why it picked up a little bit of steam on the forums and stuff, and they ran some different races and stuff like that on it. That is definitely a jump if I've ever seen one, dude. Jumping like 4 or 5 into that roller section there. Woo! That is a risque jump, and you really want to hit it because you know you can, but it's one of those where it's like, oh my God, it's just every time you go over that jump face wide open like that, you pretty much know you're probably going to crash. I mean, it's one of those where it's like maybe a 10 to 20% chance of landing it right, and then another 80% chance that you're just going to completely bounce straight off of that bike, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about on that, where your suspension just like totally gives completely out on you in this game, and you just bounce right off. That's definitely fun when that happens. It's really fun when that happens on like a 2-foot tall jump, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? But yeah, I mean, it's just this track, as far as like the way the ruts and the jump faces, everything has a very rounded feel to it. Almost kind of like a JGMX rounded fill style track. What the hell was I doing there? But like, I mean, you could just see like off the track right here. I mean, it's basically like nothing. There's like nothing there. Now I'm sure he probably took, to me anyways, I'm not necessarily stating facts here. I'm not for sure 100%, but to me it looks like he's actually taken possibly the real like Google Maps actual overlay and put that down on the track. If you guys don't know, that's kind of how they do that's how they did do the real life AMA replica Lucas Oil motocross tracks in this game. They would actually take like a Google Map overlay and put that down as a decal, so you're actually getting like the literal like Google Map decal down on the ground of the exact way that the grass looks. I mean, I think it looks okay on some tracks, and then other tracks it can kind of look a little bit silly, but this little triple right here is pretty fun. You can get it whipped over good on that one. And you got a little bit of roughness, almost like a kind of like a Budds Creek style little section here, and then you kind of swoop back over, come back down to a Unadilla-esque type downhill little switchback style section, nice little scrub jump there, little bit of roughness. But as far as like the roughness and just the jump faces, everything has a little bit more of a mellowed out feel than your AMA roughness replica style tracks in this game. Everything's just a little bit more mellow, a little bit more. You're not going to come off a jump face on this track right here and feel like you hit a kicker or feel like you hit a little bit of a scrolly face. Everything's got a very, very smoothed out face to it. Definitely one of those semi-realistic tracks as far as the jump faces and the roller sections and all that kind of stuff. There's really no ruts or anything in any of that, or no roughness or cupped out spots or anything. The only spot you're really getting like actual ruts or any sort of, not even really, it's really just, it looks like it's purposely been made sort of braking bumps through the corners here, and so you don't really have that like there's not a whole lot of like that just inconsistency feel on the track. So, and I mean, I always talk about how I don't want there to be a whole lot of that inconsistency feel and that sort of janky jump feeling and roughness feeling and stuff like that, which is a true thing, but I feel like sometimes you need a little bit of it, or it's almost like you're riding on a God just put down a perfect track, which never happens in real life. So you kind of lose touch of that little bit of randomness to real life motocross riding, if that makes any sense to you. But still a fun track nonetheless here. Little roller section. Now this one little rhythm over here, I don't even know what on this, dude. I don't know the best way to go through this. I've tripled, I've quadded, I've singled, and I've rolled over it, and I don't know. I mean, it seems like I hit that damn section a different way every single time I come around. Now, this little jump right here is pretty fun. You can huck this up over. Got to get that bike in the perfect gear, and once you find the right gear for your certain gearing and whichever bike you're on, you can just glide right over that jump, and you're kind of like jumping completely over. You're landing like on the jump face of the next jump. So obviously you're not really supposed to hit that, but you still can. A couple of little different areas on the track like that where you can really hit some bigger jump style sections and stuff. But yeah, really smoothed off corners. You don't really, the ruts themselves don't feel rough. They feel super smoothed out. Like I said, kind of that JGMX style feel to it. But yeah, I mean, anytime I come in here and do one of these compound replica tracks, I was trying to hook up over to this other side over here. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that worked out really well. That triple can be a little bit weird. That face of it can feel just like you can definitely over jump that on a 450 for sure. You kind of got to blip that throttle just a little bit coming up to it. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's an okay track. Nothing like crazy amazing, nothing crazily disappointing. It's just an okay track, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm going to give it, even though the on track is fluent, fun, flowing, right? Like, he's kind of going down that JGMX style route where it's rideable for every skill level. So, people are going to love it just for that fact alone. It's kind of just got that not quite AMA roughness, but not stock track smooth, right? But, I mean, I was impressed on some of these bigger lines that you can hit on the track. Definitely some big separators from your pro class to your amateur class for sure on some of these jumps. Some of them may not be quite as worth as I'm kind of making it out to be here. I was really just hitting them for fun. When you actually get into trying to run a super fast lap time, I don't know how practical some of those sections would really be there, but some of these corners can be a little bit fun. Kind of feel like you got just enough of that roughness where you can hold it wide open but still go around the corner pretty well. Fun little double to a like uphill style section. You can double up over that, and then you can like roll over this little section back down the hill. Then I like to take this inside right here. And yeah, as far as an overall type of sense, I'm going to give it I think it's on track's built pretty well here. Pretty consistent here. When I say well, it's a consistently built track. It's a very rideable track. It's not a very like crazy unique design track, and of course it's just a replica track. He's not out here making a damn space track. He's just making a replica track, so it fits what it's trying to do, I feel like, right? It's not like anything too crazy here. Now, like I said, I mean, the off track and some of that kind of stuff probably could have used a little bit of work. Some little things here and there could have touched it up to make more on the level of like the 2015 James Stewart compound replica. Could have made the track a little bit more exciting. But yeah, just somewhere in that middle type of neighborhood when you talk about an overall rating, overall realm. I mean, I do like how I use multiple different tree billboards off the track. Definitely gives it a bit of a cool feel to have some of those spots where it's a bit more open and some of the spots that have the trees. But when you just sit down and look at the actual off track, like it's very simple. He's probably made the most simple off track make it look about as unique as you could for how simple it really is. I mean, look at this out here. Like when you actually look, he's literally just got like raised one type of height of raised terrain all the way across here to like create this little ridge line. It actually looks like he's lowered it. Like he's just lowered this, almost looks like a riverbed down through here, and then the rest of the track is just flat. And I think off the track, way out there, maybe statues. That's definitely what that kind of looks like. Some of those bigger mountain-style statues, that's not actually raised terrain out there. So, yeah, I mean, you can just tell, it's got that little bit of that, basic-y type of feel off the track. But all in all, I mean, it's not terrible. I would say... you could probably give this track a 8 overall. If the on track wasn't as fun and rideable like it is, it would have been more like maybe a 5 or a 6, but I think 8 overall is pretty good rating for it. I'm going to say the difficulty is medium. It can be really easy if you're hitting the small lines and not going fast over the roughness, and it can be really difficult if you're hitting the big lines and really hammering it through some of this roughness. So just kind of that medium difficulty range. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.